Hi, Gunnar. Thanks
Hi,
for joining
Dennis.
today. Gunnar will give a presentation on digital drives energy, OGE's digital transformation. Gunnar studied mechanical engineering at the Ruhr University Bochum and received his PhD in process engineering. He started his professional career as project manager at the Fraunhofer Institute for Environmental Safety and Energy Technology. Gunnar has been at OGE for over 10 years and is currently serving as head of technical projects, overseeing planning, construction, and commissioning of machinery and energy and pipeline technology systems. Please write your questions into the chat section right next to this window here. If you have any questions during the presentation, we will have a joint Q&A session with all keynote speakers at the end of the 3 keynote speeches. Thank you very much again for joining us today, Gunnar. Please, the floor is yours.
Dennis, thank you for the kind introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to my talk. I would like to talk about OGE's digital transformation process. OGEs are typical TSOs, or transport system operators. So basically we are transporting natural gas, so methane. And I'm responsible for OGE's projects. Our digital transformation process started back in 2016. In 2016, we wanted to be innovative and digital. So we started a lean startup approach together with digital founders, and we developed 4 new business models. So we wanted to work on hydrogen pipelines, methane mobility, 5G networks, as well as power to gas. So I would like to use a symbolic metaphor during the speech. So I would like you to picture the OGE as a huge tanker, a huge vessel. So, well, we were beautiful in shape. We had a good weather forecast. The sky was blue, the sun was shining, and we were pretty sure that we are in a good shape to tackle the tasks of the future. But we had a rude awakening. All of these 4 projects just failed right after the initiation phase. Well, we had to accept our failure. If we stay in the picture, we simply overloaded our vessel, preventing it to move at all. So, well, we all know culture eats strategy for breakfast. So, our daily business was hindering all the changes we wanted to occur. Well, first attempts often doesn't fly. So we had to restart. We had to rethink. And well, we still wanted to think big, but we already learned that mostly we have to start small. So we decided that we would like to start in baby steps in order to make it possible. And we also learned that we have to change something about our culture. So we gave us a new motto. We drive digitalization, create added value together enthusiastically was the new motto. And consequently, we also build up a new IT and digitalization strategy. And for this, we set together a new crew with diverse skill set in order to tackle all these upcoming questions, all these upcoming tasks. So in the picture, our vessel, OGE, the tanker, was still going straight forward, tackling the daily problems, the day-to-day difficulties. But we increase speed and momentum by creating sailing boats. So we created MVPs, and these MVPs were used in order to understand if we will have a fast fail or a quick win. Well, for sure, quick wins are much more important because it motivates the people if you generate a win, and it also gives you the possibility to build on for the future. These MVPs, these sailing boats, brought us more flexibility for the agile testing of technology. And the sailing boat also prepared ourselves for upcoming storms. Well, I said OGE is a TSO, so the transport system operator. So we are 100% regulated. So we are working in 100% regulated business surrounding. So we are really focused on reliability of supply as well as safety. So we have a real rigid structure, and also our provider have a really rigid structures. So these surroundings were difficult for the MVPs, but these MVPs made it possible to try, to check, and still be successful in the daily day work. So using these MVPs, we were able to travel through different ecosystems. We explored them and we learned a lot in the process. So for example, we co-founded the Campus Zollverein. We worked together with universities, startups, and customers. And we also improved our exchange to our partners like Microsoft, SAP, Avato, ODC, and so on, in order to understand which new developments, which new techniques, with new possibilities, or even problem-solving methods are available and can help us to solve our daily day problems. But in the process, we also learned that we have to improve the communication to our working units, to the people in the front line. And so we set up an education course for the people coming from the working units, and we picked individuals and tried to become digital experts. Contents which we have put into this training course was stuff like artificial intelligence, augmented reality, machine learning, Internet of Things, and so on. And the major task for these digital experts coming from the working units were to understand the new possibilities and go back to the home units and try to improve the knowledge of the people working there and try to start MVPs for the daily day problems, so solutions for daily day problems. But now enough theory. Let's take a look in the ship's log. Well, we established new formats and created a community of digital experts and sometimes even friends. Well, we have used as preferred format stand-ups, and one stand-up on a bi-weekly basis, 30 minutes, is still running, and so 100 people are exchanging new technologies, new possibilities, and stuff they believe the other should know. This community is called DigiWave, and it's organized in product teams because we believe these product teams generates a shorter development times, higher motivated people, more ideas, as well as a greater identification with the use case, which is a real important point in order to get a solution which is really needed. Like I said, one of the most biggest points or the tasks, the most important tasks for the digital experts were the knowledge transfer. And in order to improve the knowledge transfer of these digital experts, gamification was used. So the digital experts got points, for example, for points like explain a new technology to your management, or talk to your colleague and use your new problem-solving technique. So by doing so, the digital expert tried to reach as much point as possible to be better than their friends. And so the knowledge transfer was even improved. The product teams, the DigiWave, is led by objectives and key results, because we believe objectives and key results gives the possibility for a better strategy and result-orientated mindset and better strategy and result-orientated work in daily day doing. But now let me start real with the MVP, which I've brought today with me. For sure, I haven't brought all the MVPs we did since 2018, but I pick some beautiful one, I guess. So right here, you see the remote support, which we are doing. We are using lenses in order to support the people in the field from the back office. So experts in the back office can just directly show something on the lens in the field in order to help the people with stuff they're not doing every day, for example. We have also created an asset data information system on a cloud-based platform in order to enable all OGE's members to assess the data needed, for example, for pipeline information. Another app which we have programmed is an hydrogen connection app. It's an app where we are trying to connect producers, customers, gas filling station, project companies. And so we are trying to improve, to enable the involving H2 community in Germany. Last but not least, I have brought 3 videos with me. And in advance of this conference, I learned that it's better not to stream them during my PowerPoint presentation, that the quality is better if we do this right away from the operators. So Ruben, the operator for the conference, will help me with that. But I also learned if he's streaming the videos, I have to explain before what is going to be seen in the video, because you will not be able to hear me during the video. So the first MVP which I've brought today is the use of drones. The use of drones in my field of responsibility is important because well, I'm responsible for the planning, designing, construction, like you heard already in the beginning, for compressor station and underground pipelines. And if you are building a compressor station, it is real important that you don't move the soil from A to B to C and then back to A, because normally you're paying for each movement. So in order to save cost, not spending unnecessary money, you have to be sure that the soil is only moved when it's necessary, and you only have to pay for movement that are necessary. So that have explained our constructor in advance, because nowadays we are using drones, making bird-side pictures using orthographic technology, and we track the movement of the soil, and we are only paying for soil movement that is necessary. This will be explained in the first video. Please, Ruben, be so nice and let us show the first video. So, Ruben, thank you very much for the first video. And now I would like to come to the second video from my field of responsibility, which I've brought a new MVP which we have created. Well, if you would have asked my people 10 years ago, they would probably said, well, we are designing perfectly capable, state-of-the-art, beautiful apparatus. And if you would have asked the operation, they would probably said, well, yeah, the asset is all right. And to overcome this problem, because we would like also the operation to say, well, that's a really good job, do it again, please, next year. We try to improve the communication between planning, design and planning, and operations. And therefore, we believe virtual reality is a good technology which can be used in order to directly, when you are able to accessible a 3D model, to show the operations, how it's going to look like, how the accessibility or viability is going to be achieved, and to discuss maybe even changes before the construction took place. So let us take a look in the second video. So thanks again, Rubens. And now we come to the third MVP from my field of responsibility. It's about augmented reality. Augmented reality is used by us also to improve the communication between planning, design, and operations, but also to improve the approval process. In Germany, if you're going to construct a big construction site, a big facility, you have to have an approval, like all over in the world as well. But in Germany, often it's difficult to get this approval when your neighbor are not in your favor. Therefore, it is important to show, for example, the neighbors how the apparatus, how the building will look like afterwards when it is done, when it is constructed. And this can be done with using augmented reality, and this will be shown in the third last video. Go ahead, please. So thanks again. Well, I have to admit we still have a few pages to fill, but I'm already a little bit late, so it's just in case of the symbolic metaphor I've used today. We create measurable success, which I've shown you, for example, for using augmented reality for the network planning or the Edge connection app, which we have programmed. Well, we also use artificial intelligence for material certificates gathering information, which I haven't shown you today. But in total, I have to say the most important point was to change the culture, to get an enthusiasm of digitalization so that everybody, or at least everybody, most of the people of OGE are going to try to be more innovative or more digital. And I can also promise you the story will go on. For OGE, the digital transformation is an ongoing journey, and I am really interested, for example, in the digital twins of the assets we have just reconstructed or just built up. So I'm hoping you enjoyed my talk, and I'm happy to answer any question later on you may have. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Gunnar, for this interesting insight into the digitalization journey at OGE and the examples of your projects and services. And I think it will be an interesting discussion then later on after the next two presentation when you are back online for our joint Q&A session. So thanks again, Gunnar, for your presentation.